Hello, pile number one, and welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. We're going to be taking a look into how it is that the heavens and hidden realms would describe your legacy. So first of all, we're going to touch on your past, what people might understand your legacy to be at the moment. And then we're going to jump into what you will find your legacy evolving into. So guides, guardians, universe, energy and service of those who are here visiting the pile number one. I welcome you into this space and I ask that you please provide me with truth, clarity and wisdom. Please grant me the ability to articulate your messages as accurately and as clearly as possible. Okay, pile number one. So I've got the mirror in front of me and I'll be mirror scrying today. It just makes it a lot more flowy, like, you know what I mean? It's just less jumbled for me. So what I saw here was that your guys' reputation is based around your third chakra. So I feel like you guys have been realizing your purpose recently, your life purpose, through authentic connection. So you've been getting closer with yourself, most likely, pile number one. Learning about the cycles that you wish to take or start. Initiate is probably a better word. I see that you guys have been working really hard, and part of your reputation in your social circles is that you guys are like starting anew. I think your reputation is based around how well you speak, your communication skills, because I feel like the way it is that you express your ideas is very unique to you. You could use things like quotes, storytelling, sharing of experiences, media as a way of expressing yourself. And that's part of your current reputation. I also think you would have found, like in the past, pile number one, a part of your reputation could have been that you guys had a trouble expressing the truth of your feelings, expressing the truth of what you meant, using the right forms of communication to express yourself in ways that really reflected your individuality. You know, I think perhaps you could have faced a lot of misunderstandings from people outside of you. You could have had people who wouldn't really listen to you. People would talk over you. People would grow impatient with how it was that you would speak, or, you know, speak of your experiences, your knowledges and insights, your wisdoms. But I think that changed with time. And I think it's because you became more purposeful with your choices of words, with your choices of expressions as well. There was like a spotlight that was placed on you at a point of your life that changed the trajectory of how people actively listened to you, actively showed up, really. I think you shifted a lot of people's intentions with the words that you would use, the messages that you would share and speak. I think you ceased participating in things like gossip as well, criticism. I think you stopped giving unsolicited advice to people who weren't asking you for it as well. In a way, some people could have viewed this as you taking a step back from them, when really it was more like you wanted to respect their space and who it is that they are currently and where it is that they're at. So instead you found a space to channel what you wanted to share or express, and allowed it to reach the people who would benefit from it, really. Yeah. I heard as well, you became more of a participating listener to people outside of you. You stopped speaking, and you were wise in your discernment of what to say and when to say it. And this is a part of you bringing balance to your third chakra. I think you think before you speak a lot more. And that's part of your reputation. You're not someone to willy-nilly give advice out to just anybody, tell people what to do. I think you've disciplined yourself out of oversharing information about yourself, your focuses and your goals. I also think that you have amplified or created awareness around important matters that many other people overlook, pile number one. Just to, you know, place that into a sort of focus. You help people to solve suffering in some way, shape or form. You teach people the importance of vibration control and frequency. So I think you'd be very sensitive to unspoken vibrations within people as well. And this is a part of your legacy. I believe that people would probably talk about you a lot. And the things that they would say about you is that you have an ability of saying the best things at the perfect time. You have a scary ability of saying things that people, it catches people's consciousness, and they're like, how did you know that? But then they're also in their mind like, do you even know that, or did you just say that by accident? You trigger people this way. So you might experience the theme of people taking steps back from you. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at how it is that the heavens and hidden realms would describe your current reputation. This is going to help us to discern whether the reading is for you guys or not yet. So we have the Two of Summer coming out here, which is the Lovebird. Then we have the, can't see, Prince of Spring. And we have the Two of Spring. So with the Lovebird here, you are someone who has the reputation of prioritizing union, love, togetherness, mediation, counsel as well. I think you're very good at solving indifferences, pile number one, and that's part of your legacy right now. You guys could be also falling in love with life or a beauty in life that you have recently discovered. This could have been like a love for something that you can do, like I don't know, like if you're good at drawing, perhaps you've evolved your approach to drawing in some way, or like advanced your ability to draw, and you're falling back in love with the art of drawing itself because of a new approach. Take this as example. This kind of method is applied somewhere in your life. You could even be falling more deeply in love with your journey, your presence in life itself. You could be coming to a space of a deepening of self-acceptance as well, with the Two of Summer being here. I would probably also say that you guys could have the reputation of being a good partner in romance, business, or friendship and family. I think you hold the reputation of being someone who is trustworthy, who is dependable. And I think you are known as someone who is not afraid to, you know, stick it out. Like, say for example, if mistakes are made, conflicts come up, challenges arise, your reputation is that you will stick around and do the work that you can to mend, heal, repair, reconcile, or resolve. And this is something that people respect you for, because you're seen as dependable in this way, reliable. You don't give up on the things that are meaningful to you, and this is a big part of what people are saying in your space as well. You don't give up on what you believe is important, what you deem to be as meaningful, and this is part of your reputation right now. So I also feel like it's coming into like the gossip realm of things. Like, this is what your social circles are saying about you. People see you as a valuable asset in connections and relationships. A part of your reputation is that you are someone who is really good to talk to, because you have a vast perspective of things with this card as well. And also the Pelican. Like, you have a very vast perspective, and you have the ability to I want to say direct your creative force, and I also want to say that you have an ability to have a vision for a method that can be practically applied, that will reliably lead you to like success in results. You're very good at putting things into perspective for people. You know what I mean here? Yeah. Part of your reputation is that people also see you as successful or well achieved. They see you as someone who has set out on quite a few different endeavors, I want to say here, because all three of these totems are traveling totems. They don't stay in one place for too long. So yeah, I would say that a part of your reputation is that you go where you're needed, really. I think, sorry, that you are probably individuals who feel summons to different areas of life. You go with the flow of where life guides you or directs you or brings your attention to. I think you are someone who is also very dominant within your instincts, pile number 2. I think you have a very positive reputation for your charisma as well. You have a strongly developed sense of self at this point in time. And I think your reputation is that you have no issue in moving quickly when you feel called to move. I think you are someone who is very good at following your inner guidance and self-counseling, and this is also a part of your reputation, is that you're independent. You do things on your own. You don't really ask people for help. I think you really do set examples and are very self-reliant. Part of your reputation too is that you're clairsentient and claircognizant. So you have heightened clairsentience. So you could identify with abilities such as like empathy. You could be a healer. You could be a psychologist, a counselor, a nurturer, or a caregiver of any sort. And I would say that you are people who have explored different ways of bringing positive service to others in your life. And this is part of your reputation. You're very emotionally intelligent, and you're very good at reminding people that there is still goodness, like genuine goodness in challenge. A lot of people get swept away with the challenge itself, but you remind people that there is a reward after the challenge. You remind people that that's not where progress kind of stops. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people around you could be quite pessimistic, and this is part of your reputation, that you heal pessimism within people, negative thinking within people. So let's go ahead now and take a look into how it is that the heavens and hidden realms would describe your guys' legacy moving into the future. I just heard that you guys will also be known as like a parental figure, a caregiver, or a guardian of like either people who are inexperienced. Oh, I just heard senseless. What does that mean? Perhaps you guys are going will have a reputation for counseling senselessness in people. It's like parenting people. I think you have a very motherly or fatherly energy about you, and because of that, you invoke respect in people, and this is going to be part of your legacy, pile number 1. People are going to respect your words of guidance and knowledge as well. Anyway. You're also going to hold a legacy of having happy and healthy, fulfilled family members and friends. Yeah, this is because your reputation is that you are a leader. You have gone through a lot of lessons of learning to discipline yourself, your impulses. What one sees as a weakness, you have taken on and transformed and healed into strengths. We have choices, feeling blocked. Yeah, you guys are very good at delving into situations and reflecting on the choices that are available for people. You lead by example as well. You don't force opinions, inputs. You're really respected, pile number 1, whether you know this or not. And this is part of your reputation. A lot of part of your reputation as well is that you might be placed into positions of leadership authority. You might be placed into the spotlight. You might be used as an example by the divine for those around you who feel restrained or blocked off from living a better life, from living a life that is in reflection of their authentic selves. I think you will have a reputation of being true to your values, if anything. Your values, your principles, someone who is well disciplined as well. I think you will find that a lot of people will find you as a paradoxical sort of force in your life and in the life of others. You'll be free of stereotypes almost. It's like people will see you as someone who has a lot of curiosity, but you'll also be seen as someone who has like a wisdom about you that you channel through humor. You might be very good at making jokes out of the heavier things in life. You give examples to people of how to handle things with grace, with respect for yourself and for others. I think you will also find that a big part of your reputation will be that you've mastered the shadows in some way, dark consciousness, or you could also find that you guys could become masters of the chaos and illusion. So it's like chaos magicianry, or a chaos witch, or someone who knows how to use the lower vibrations of life in positive ways. So you really do truly gift different perspectives that change everyone's lives, quite literally. Like whenever you share deep soul truths with people in the future, even now, you're already like weaving like a tapestry, really. And the tapestry is like a story of you. And that's going to be a big part of your reputation, like that you started from the bottom and you worked your way all the way up. Sorry, if you hear squeaking noises, it's my chair. And if you hear, it's the hot water bottle, as usual. I think you're also going to be known for harnessing the power of tradition, principle, value, morality. Sometimes even ceremony, so things like practices. That's coming through Elizabeth and the Lion. Thinking of like someone like a queen, they lead the way by being the way. You know what I'm saying here? That's you. That's a part of your reputation and also your legacy. Your appearance is also very deceiving to people outside of you because others might underestimate you a lot, and then they are really, really shocked with the number 20 here and number 6. Once they get closer to you, or once they spend more time observing you and watching you through your everyday life, you shock people a lot because you're not as seamlessly unknowing as you appear. You don't take things too seriously, pile number 1. And as a result of you not taking things too seriously, people don't take you too seriously or take serious looks into you until your authentic self is put in the spotlight. Like there are situations where a large amount of people are stuck or don't know what to do or have heaps of inexperience with. You're the types of people who are like fearless in the face of the unknown, and you venture into it and you gather information and you bring it back and then you pass it on to people in very nurturing and digestible ways that are respectable. You don't put people down, you don't make people feel stupid. Instead, you see information as something that should be given to everybody. It's like when you become enlightened, you also enlighten everyone else around you because you live in that enlightened state as you learn it, as you grow in it. You know, with these two. It's very rare that you would be the type of people who would find yourself stagnant for too long. People will speak about that for a long time to come. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. You guys could spread truth a lot. And as a result of you spreading truth or new ways of looking at things, understandings and perspectives, you might battle ego a lot, ego within others. So you might find that a big theme of your life is that you have been misunderstood or rejected. You have not been taken seriously for the amount of work and growth and healing that you've done. I also think that a big part of your legacy will be that you completely changed positions in your life. You know what I'm saying? You broke free from negativity. Just saying, is what I heard. You also helped people to break free of the overvaluing of like material possessions. It's like you are correcting the vision of true value and wealth in life. You're reminding people of the important things in life. And as a result, it's like creating a big disillusionment. That's the energy that I feel is very healing in your auric space, is that you are not for the nonsense. You don't have time for nonsense because you're too grounded. And when people are grounded, they are kept well enough busy. You know what I'm saying here. So yeah, I think you could find yourself as being the first person of your family or like your friend group to achieve something. Like perhaps you could be like the first people to, I don't know, graduate. You could be the first people to have a certain career in your field. You could start you could start a tradition, by the way, like an actual generational legacy. So you could start a business and it could become very, very successful, and it will like gain a lot of wealth that will live on past your lifetime. So it's like you're building for your babies, you're building for your future, and you're building for the betterment of a humanitarian service. It will be what is most meaningful to you throughout your life. So yeah, I believe that you guys are teachers of many different wisdoms, and you probably have a sense of curiosity. But once again, it's like a wise humor that you use to show people that, you know, even in the face of adversity, challenge, struggle, or even sometimes suffering, it's not all bad. And it really is and does boil down to the idea that power is chosen, it's cultivated, and it can be commanded through the power of your choice. Whether you choose to use your life experiences to make you, develop you, and grow you, or whether you use your life experiences to block you, hurt you, hold you back from your dreams and discovering your truest capabilities. And you are going to be a true symbol for that. You are definitely seen as like the explorer of capabilities and possibilities, potential. You show people that really we are the master creators of our reality, and the relationship we share with ourselves is really important because it determines like a quality of self that we then share with everyone else around us. So through your life journey, I think a big part of your reputation is that you chose to be a better version of yourself. You chose to work through your shadows, your inner darknesses, to understand some of very, very deep psychological depths. And you chose to be your better self. And you were able to stay disciplined in your better self because you were aware of what you didn't want to be, because you weren't afraid to see. Those are the messages I have for you today, pile number 1. Thank you so very much for stopping by. I hope this has come a positive service. And with all that being said, until next time, bye. Hello, pile number 2, and welcome to your guys' reading. Thank you so much for being here today. We're going to be taking a look into how it is that the heavens and hidden realms would describe your legacy. So at first we're going to take a look into your reputation and legacy from your past leading up until now. So it could highlight things about your reputation and legacy now as well. And then we'll take a look into looking into your future legacy and reputation. So I just heard, oh, pile number 2, okay. A part of your reputation as described by spirit surrounding you from your past is that a lot of people treated you like dirt. A lot of people could have seen you as someone who was naive when really, matter of fact, you were just trying to look to the best in people. You wanted to, you didn't want to think about people in a way of caution all the time. And that's a big part of your reputation and your legacy, is that you are very open-hearted, very welcoming to anybody. You kind of like give the best of yourself to anyone. And I think a big lesson that you guys would have learned in your lifetime is that not everyone deserves the best of you. You know what I'm saying here? So the cards that just came forward to represent your past reputation and legacy is represented by spirituality and religion. Then we have the Starseed card, and we also have inspiration. This is telling me that some of you guys could have the reputation of like starting off as someone who was once seen as religious, and then you kind of like had an awakening and you moved more into spirituality. You guys could have discovered a practice that is of a different culture or a different background that resonates with you, and that's could have been the like change or conversion. There's like a conversion energy here. A lot of you guys have the reputation of being people who are really independent, very colorful, very creative individuals. And I think you could have a reputation for working with energy, helping to heal people. I think you are seen as people who are respected for being real. And when you are yourself, you inspire other people to be yourself, and that's a big part of your reputation as well. You could be quite individualistic, quite unique. You could do things in ways that are unusual to most people because you approach things in an uncommon way, but it inspires people outside of you. I think you also have connection to the real magic of life, of nature, of essence. And that's a big part of your reputation. You see beauty in places and in things that other people do not. So I'd say that you also have a reputation of being innocent. Like, and when I say that, I mean innocent of intention, pure of intention. You are who you say you are. You're yourself. You show up as yourself. And that's more than enough for the world around you. A lot of you guys could live quite isolated as well. Perhaps you're homebodies, you like your own company, or you have very limited company, very limited amount of people that you hold close and share everything with. You know what I'm saying here? A lot of you guys could also astral project a lot, dimension shift a lot. Some of you could be connected to LGBTQ community as well. And you can be very good at solving puzzles, by the way, Paul. Number 2, puzzles or confusing things, because this lady's playing with like a Rubik's Cube, and it made me think that you guys are really good at piecing things together, solving puzzles, getting a full picture or clear perspective. So you guys could also have the reputation of having an open mind. Perhaps you guys have explored alternative ways of opening up your perspective or exploring your psyche as well. I'm seeing tea and coffee being something that you guys are really all about, which makes sense. I mean, not many people don't drink coffee, you know. I think you guys would also have a reputation for creating a lot of positive memories for people. You help people to shift the energy that they attach to their memories, which means you like help people to let things go a lot. You could help to alleviate stress in other people's lives. You're seen as like someone who is really helpful. I also just heard that you guys are seen as like a high value friend. People want you on their team, you know, they don't want to really go against you. I just dropped some cards, 2 minutes. Sorry about that, guys. So we had the Hawk Prince come forward, spirit communication and paying attention, and then you have karmic relationships. So I would say that a big part of your reputation now is that you guys are connected to like the divine spirit, source, the universe. You guys bring through sacred forms of advice and wisdoms for people, especially in relationships. You help people to overcome challenges in union. You guys help to provide resolution for indifferences, and you encourage people to come together. I think you pay attention to things in a very different way that other people don't. I would say that you guys are very good at perceiving what has been left unsaid. You could be very talented as well at reading body communication or psychoanalyzing people, and you help them to understand like their roles, their positions, their contributions to things that they see as issues in their life, or you help provide guidance and pathways and actions. Decisive. It's like you give people a form of empowerment that make people feel confident to take decisive action in their life. So you provide a form of great support to a lot of people, and a lot of people really respect you, and that's a big part of your reputation. That you are a clear conduit channel, so you bridge the spirit realm to the earthly realm, third dimension and fifth dimensional consciousness. You help also probably bridge the mind with the heart and emotion and instincts, which helps people become awakened to the totality of like their psyche. You help people to live beyond labels, is what I just heard. You can be seen as quite freaky to quite a few different people as well, as what I just heard. We have the High Lady of Love and Compassion. So a big part of your reputation now is that you're very kind, you're very compassionate, you give people time, and you're very genuine with your presence. Like when you are present, you give yourself to people wholeheartedly, and you're very kind with people. Yeah, people miss you a lot when you're not there, when you're not around. Perhaps you could come and go quite a lot and move quite fluidly through life. You guys could travel a lot as well, so you could be quite cultured, well cultured. 2 moments. Sorry about that, pile number 2. My brother is coming and going. But anyway, let's jump back into the cards. Taking a look into your legacy as described by the divine. Sorry guys, I'm just reconnecting to your energy because I took a little break speaking with my brother. Let's see here what's going on. If you hear funny noises, it's just my hot water bottle. But I just heard, by the way, pile number 2 is that you guys are protective. And, you know, I think you guys have a sense of a very important sense of justice within yourself. And I think you guys could become very, very triggered by injustices, unfairness. I think a big thing that would also trigger you is probably corruption. I think you're probably also very triggered by outdated focuses of justice. There's like a calling of advocacy. Is that what the word is? Like standing up for what it is that you believe in. This is going to be a very important thing for your legacy in time to come. Standing up for what you believe in. Being okay with being alone, but seeing the importance of something in the long run and being brave enough to speak about it without fearing outcomes will be a big part of your legacy and what you are known for. I think you'll be seen as someone who is like a seeker of personal fulfillment, but it's a fulfillment that is more like, I wish to be able to share my achievements. I wish to be able to share my legacy. So I see you guys really focusing in on building generational wealth and passing that on. Generational wealth can come in so many different ways. It doesn't have to necessarily be money. This could be assets. You could want to give to those that you love. A big part of your legacy as well is that you're going to start new traditions with spiritual knowledge that you guys have attained in this lifetime and that you will pass on and teach to others to come. I think you will find that you guys are bearers of spiritual wisdom and power that has been bestowed upon you quite literally by the divine. I know that sounds wild for some people, it sounds very woo-woo, but this is going to be a big part of your legacy by the time you come to pass. It is what you will be remembered for, is the spiritual growth that you chose to prioritize when the world tried to drive you away from what you knew your purpose was. I think you are someone who has had to become what was needed at the time that life called you to become it. Like, there's a lot of areas in life where people were lacking things that you found yourself becoming in order to set an example for others to also fill the space of. Like, you taught others how to be their own hero. Pile number 2. And you have the reputation of being innocent, which means that you wanted to discover. You never really were a tied downable sort of person. You needed to be a freedom seeker. You needed to learn what it meant to be truly free, and that's going to be a big part of your legacy, is that you help people to learn to accept themselves as they are, to be exactly who they are, to follow their dreams, to transcend their challenges and weaknesses, or what could be perceived as weaknesses to the individual, I suppose, but you help them to see the positives of the negatives that can be perceived by human mind. And you help people to learn the higher perspective behind why certain things in life take form. And that's another big part of your legacy. So, I mean, this is very straightforward for you guys. But let's see a little bit deeper here. What's going on within the reputation of those who are viewing pile number 2, please. This is the second time I've recorded your reading, by the way. The first time I recorded it, it didn't record. So I went ahead and completed 4 piles and then came back and saw that pile number 2 was missing. So just to let you guys know, you guys could find yourselves having a legacy of reattempting something that you gave up on and finding yourself to be much more successful the second time around. This could manifest through marriage. This could also manifest through re-evolving like career approach, or something that you found was very important to you in your younger years that you didn't know how to contribute to the betterment of. So instead you put it to the back of your mind, and later in life you come to find you know how to contribute to the betterment of change or something. And that will become a big part of your legacy as well. You'll be known as someone who reminds others the importance of knowing and remembering their inner selves, their playfulness, their inner child, their innocence. You are going to be a symbol of showing others why it doesn't matter if you make mistakes. There is always a way to correct, heal, better, reapproach, evolve, start new, start fresh. And you really are a symbol of gold in that way for the people around you. You guys could have gone through some very harsh troubles in your life and had to face a lot of your fears, which helped you to ultimately transcend your fears and stand as a pillar of strength, really, in your life for those around you. So I think a lot of you guys could have been born with psychic gifts, psychic abilities, but you didn't take them seriously, or they came to you so naturally that you just thought everyone operated that way. But I think throughout your life you've discovered that your natural talents, the way that you naturally are, is a gift, quite literally. And I think you become like a guide to help other people to understand why they are exactly the way that they are, because it will also point them towards their divine purpose, their essence, their authenticity, the reason why they are here. And you really encourage that within people, I see. You help to catalyze the rebirth of conscious living, and you really remind people the importance of that. You are someone who is really admired for your achievements, for your reputation, for the memories and understandings you have. Perhaps you even have some past life memories, pile number 2. In some ways, you could have a connection to birds like crows or cats, and reptiles like, I don't know, geckos, lizards. These could be, some of these animals could be like your spirit totems, and you'll know if it's your spirit totem because it's going to manifest much more frequently over your next month. And if it's not your dominant spirit totem, it's a spirit totem that is here helping you to navigate your life path towards alignment with your legacy. So pay attention to the nature of animals around you, and definitely don't hesitate to go and learn more about them in reference to this, spiritual spiritual references. So like totem medicines and totem references and meanings. A big part of your legacy is also going to be your talent that you were naturally born with these two being here. You're going to remember talents that you once had that you didn't see as talents or that you undervalued, and you're going to end up harnessing them and using them in new ways that will help benefit yourself and the reawakening of others around you. It's like you're reconnecting people with what is really, really important in life. And I think in your past, you guys would have experienced a lot of comparison from others around you. You guys could have grown up as like an only child, or you could have grown up befriending animals much better than what you did other humans, other people. But I think as a result of you spending so much time alone, pile number 2, and being forced to be in your own company, you've learned to accept yourself as you are for where it is that you're at. I think you've learned to become so grounded that you are almost unshakable within your knowing of self. I think you are unmovable by criticism and judgment of others, and you very much stay committed to what you know is true to you, and that's seen as a very admirable quality that you guys possess and have mastered in over this lifetime, and it's going to be a huge part of your legacy also. One last card. Yeah, you guys remind people that they are what generates positivity in life. That is a big part of your legacy. It's like you help people to confront hard-hitting truths that is usually very uncomfortable for people. People don't really like to question themselves, and you are an idol in people's lives that make them question themselves and what they believe in and what they say is true. You make people catch up to what they preach as well. So, for example, you guys are going to be very good at challenging false masks of other people. We can put it this way. It's like ego almost, but it's not quite necessarily that. It's more like you are disillusionating illusions of the self. False associations, false labels, false limitations. You're setting people free of that and allowing people to just be themselves. You possess an essence about you that is connected to the infinite. So you'll find throughout your life, pile number 2, from what I'm seeing here, is that you're going to always possess a sense of infinite creativity, resolution, ideas, inspiration. And this is because you are truly connected to yourself. You've learned how to master your better judgment, your intuition, and your power of conducting energy. And you're a very, very good example of that for other people around you. You're going to receive a lot of apologies over your lifetime and over your soul journey, just so you know, because once again, I think you have catalyzed a lot of doubt within people, and it's been misinterpreted because once again, people don't like to question themselves. But ultimately, in you catalyzing people to question themselves, what they believe in, what they stand for, and you challenging how true they are to their own truths, it brings them closer to themselves. And it opens their heart more, and it opens their mind. So you might not be validated right away, and you might not be appreciated or acknowledged even for what you do in the presence that you place, and the presence that you have in people's lives. And people don't always necessarily understand the gift that you're giving when you give it straight away. But in time, it's like you guys provide people the space to grow without badgering them. And as a result of you guys doing that, it's almost like you show people what it means to be truly, truly resilient, truly purposeful and intentional with their actions and what they kind of put into things. And you've learned to stay true to yourself, and you've learned the importance of that. But because of the way you have developed through your soul path, you've also developed a very thick skin. You're someone who once again can't be moved, can't be shaken, can't be manipulated. Not many people are going to be able to get things past you and your intuition. And people who have impure intentions, hidden motives, hidden agendas are usually going to be completely highlighted for you and your intuition. You're going to have a very strong discernment for character, reason, and purpose that is unspoken or untold within others. So it's very important that you pay attention to your instincts when it comes to like why people are in your space, why people do what they do, what motivates them. People are going to appreciate you for looking into these things intuitively, being intuitively guided to do so. You're going to teach the importance of perspective as well to people around you, and people are really going to appreciate you for that. Just clarify that last one there, sorry. Yeah, you're going to have a reputation of overcoming comparison and competition from others. You're seen as a very worthy opponent in your realm of focuses. I think with the Seven of Wands coming out here clarifying that you have a mighty shield, I think you are going to be seen as someone who holds your own and who is not afraid to be alone, because you understand you hold the vision. You hold the abilities to make your dreams possible. You have the ability to inspire others by living truthfully and inviting others to do the same. And that's really a really big part of your legacy moving forward. So those are the messages I have for you today. Thank you so very much for allowing me to connect with you. And with all that being said, until next time, pile number 2. Bye. Hello, pile number 3, and welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. We're going to be taking a look at messages from the heavens and hidden realm about your guys' legacy. So we're going to first touch on aspects of your reputation of your past, or the legacy of the past. It could also touch in on your reputation now. And then we'll take a look into your future legacy as described by the divine, heavens, and hidden realms. Guides, guardians, universe, energies, and service of the highest and greatest good. Of those who are here viewing pile number 3. I saw the goat totem. Mountain goat. That's very interesting and very, very telling. That's coming up in a future. Okay. So what is the reputation of those who are here viewing pile number 3? Please, guys, guardians, and universe, please grant me the ability to articulate your messages as accurately and as clearly as possible. I just saw the stars as well. So part of your reputation is that you could be otherworldly. Your consciousness is unusual or very rare. You make people think a lot. You make people sink inside of themselves a lot. I think you would find that a lot of the time in the past, you guys could have experienced a lot of comparison from people outside of you, like interpersonal relationships. A lot of people would compare themselves to you, your life position, who you are in general, your confidence, courage, and bravery to go after what you put your mind on. You could have felt like a lot of people would tell you that you didn't deserve to be where you were. But the card that came out here was healing. So I think a big part of your reputation with the healing card coming out here is that you gave people a new way of believing, seeing things. You put things into perspective for people and it heals them. You leave no space left unturned by common sense, and you touch on things that aren't even heard of. I think you're very good at looking back into the past, pile number 3, and receiving insight, knowledge, or wisdom about why certain things took place the way that they did. I think you would find as well that a big part of your reputation is that you guys can read past lives in general. You could, once again, put things into perspective for people and help them to understand what they contributed to that created a problem. You also provide like resolutions or pathways forward past like challenges or obstacles or issues that have been created. I think you're very busy people as well, and I think you have a lot of held back energy that I think you would benefit by finding outlets to express. Like, I keep jittering. Some of you guys could have like been diagnosed as ADHD or autistic. You guys could have like something like that. Not all of you, of course, but some of you might. Because yeah, there's a lot of energy, and there could be like a lot of ponderings that many people wouldn't really think of. But anyway, with the healing here, a big part of your reputation is that you guys grant healing to other people energetically. I would say here a lot of your healing comes through the restorement or rebirth of hope, from what I'm seeing here as well. You guys are very intuitive and you see through a lot of illusions. And that's a big part of your reputation when it comes to your healing. You rip away the illusions that people hold of themselves and the world around them, possibilities and capabilities, skill sets, resources, and their dreams. A big part of your reputation also is that you're divinely connected, pile number 3. And a big part of your reputation is you have a really bright future ahead of you. I know that sounds strange for some, but yeah, it's here. Like, especially if you've started like a new career path, or you're taking yourself more seriously in your approaches to like your career or your projects. A big part of your reputation is that you're also intuitively led. You trust in your instincts and you keep your mind very open. What's the reputation of those for pile number 3 that they've left behind in the past? So in the past, I think you would have found that a big part of your reputation was that a lot of people came to you asking for help, asking you to give them insight into themselves, into their desires, into their loves and interests. I think you were seen as a guide that helped people to get back in touch with themselves and understand themselves better. Also, the spirit guides, you made things more practical to people when it came to like celestial or spiritual matters. You made things more practical, more grounded. You kind of like channeled them in real ways, like realistic ways. You don't really associate with things that are outside of human, though you are aware that they're there. You guys could hide a lot of your strengths from a lot of the world around you, but people see it. You give them a little bit of time in your space, and like you kind of reveal yourself as a secondary form to people. You're not just like you're a vast being. Like, there's lots to you that people don't see or really get to experience about you, and that's a big part of your reputation as well. You're very loving though and very supportive, but it's very rare that people ever get so close to you that they're always in your space and get to experience the best of you. I think you have a reputation of dulling yourself down You could also have a reputation of being connected to the earthly elements, to mystical little beings. Perhaps, like, for example, you guys really love fairies, the fae. You could have like an attraction for lights. You could even use lights to decorate your house as well. You're very good at beautifying things or bringing light into dim and dark places as well. That's a big part of your reputation. You get to new depths within other people's understandings of themselves and the world, and that's just a really big part of your reputation, I see here. Let's go ahead and see a little bit more, please. As described by the divine, what is pile number 3's reputation and legacy, as described by the divine for the present moment? So we have Roman. A big part of your reputation is that you do not conform to the system. You know that there are better ways of doing things, and a big part of your reputation is that you guys have a deep sense of justice, fairness, balance. You have a deep duty, or at least a feeling of a calling towards servicing justice in some way. A big part of your reputation is that you could become divinely enraged when you see things like corruption, unfairness, injustice, wrongdoings of others. A big part of your reputation, as described by the divine, is that you guys have very developed morals or core values. You guys could be very much in touch with your core self as well, which makes you unshakable. You could be desensitized to social norms as well, with Greco-Roman being here. You don't really live to the expectations of the world around you, and you live your own ways. You are like the commander of your reality. And I mean, you could be very good at taking into consideration other people's opinions, but you'll very really listen. You don't really take other people's opinions too seriously, and this is a part of your reputation, and I think it's a good thing for you, because you are people who are very instinctively aware and connected to energy around you and the guidance of your spirit team and the reasons why you're here, because you're so very deeply in touch with yourself. And I would also say with the goat totem having popped up before in the mirror, you guys make things look easy. Like, a lot of what people would have deemed as being impossible, you kind of tested the limits of. And I think by the end of this lifetime, you would have proved a lot of impossibilities to be possible, quite literally. I think you guys would have raised to new heights and overcome a lot of challenges and a lot of adversities, a lot of criticism, perhaps even like publicly criticized. Perhaps you guys will find in the future that you guys are like public figures of some sort, or very popular in like a social eye. You could be very popular for your career, or for your achievements as well in your future life, and that's going to be a big part of your reputation. It will be your future achievements. With the Greco-Roman being here, you guys are going to have a reputation of building something great out of nothing. A big part of your reputation as well is that you guys could contribute to the build of a new sort of community, the uprise of a new community. Perhaps you could have recorrect old, outdated laws, policies, movements. You guys could be known in the future for participating in things like advocating human rights, equality, social injustices especially. There's like a big focus around recorrection of like things that are misunderstood or wrong, and you setting a new standard. because you live in the example of what you believe in rather than ordering people around. And because you live in the example of this, you set a new standard or example, and people kind of like idolize you for it, really. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. What is the reputation of those who are viewing pile number 3 moving into the future? Please, guides, guardians, and universe. Heavens and hidden realms. What is the reputation of those viewing pile number 3 moving into the future? What is their legacy that they will come to leave behind? Thank you. We have angels. We have wisdom. So part of the legacy that you guys will leave behind is you guys being a channel for divine consciousness, Christ consciousness. Is it Sophia consciousness? It's like divine feminine and divine masculine mastery. You guys are going to be seen as earth angels, people who bring about great changes for large amounts of people. You set examples and you live in the version of your bestest self that you can be. I think you're going to be seen as someone like an oracle. You could also stand as like a medium witness or someone who channels life wisdom to cease the suffering of anyone who could find use for it. I think you also will find in your future that you're known as someone who has come to master spirituality in whichever way you feel naturally drawn to explore it. Because spiritual enlightenment can come from absolutely anything. Absolutely anything. It's all dependent on the individual, their essence, their nature, and their psyche, really, what they're open to. But I see here you guys could be known as oracles, tarot readers, divinationists. You could be the masters of a particular practice like Reiki. You could become a monk of some sort. You could also master in things like religion. You could have the reputation of being a preacher or an educator of like higher wisdoms. You could also find yourself as being people who are gifted at things like numerology, astrology, or creating a new philosophy or modality that helps people to understand the esoteric energy. The metaphysics. It's like metaphysics or quantum physics. Helping to understand spirit. It's going to be different for everybody. But I see here that you guys are going to be introducing a new energy to the world, and large amounts of people are going to probably be witness to it. So you could find yourself at like platforms or becoming famous at some point in your future for your beliefs and for the guidance that you bring through from spirit, really. What will be the legacy that pile number 3 will leave behind? Oh goodness, 2 minutes. Sorry about that, pile number 3. My brother just had to pass through the room. So in the midst of me dropping all those cards, I ended up putting them all back while I was talking to my brother while he was passing through. Anyway, let me just move all the cards out of the way and reorganize myself. So the card that came forward here was the Blue Avian. So you guys are going to have a reputation for helping people to release karmic cycles. I want to say understanding mysticism and philosophy as well. Going back to the whole idea of physics, I think you're going to be helping people to understand quantum physics or the language of the universe in this way, which is awesome. You're going to, like, I think you're going to also find yourself having to rebuke a lot of procrastination, a lot of worry, a lot of doubt as well. So you guys might have had to learn how to evolve being lighthearted in the face of adversity, criticism, judgment from other people. But you're known, or will be known, as someone who has a lot of high goals. Once again, you kind of made the impossible seem possible to a lot of people around you by the time that you pass forward. And I think you'll be seen as someone who is really, really resilient and persistent, dedicated, sure-footed and independent as well. You're seen as someone who has very many talents and skill sets that other people don't believe that they could develop within themselves. And because you have a certain belief within yourself, or you feel the inherent calling and you move with it, and you move with your instinctual guidance and intuitive guidance, you kind of prove to people the worth of why we should listen to such things. Like, we have an intuition for a reason, and you teach people why. You're like a living example of that. But a big part of your legacy will be your ability to create clear visions and understandings for other people. You're going to shift a lot of paradigms and teach people the importance of discernment as well, by disillusioning a lot around mysticism. There's like a cloud of misunderstanding here that I see you like pushing through, and it's like clearing out the space for people to see through clearly. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to see you as someone who's transcended a lot of human limitations that other people don't believe that they could transition for themselves, especially not without you as a living example. We have the reptilian. So you are someone who's survived a lot of poor things in your life. I think you've also probably found yourself having to discipline and transcend the ego on your life path and in this life's journey. I think you are seen and will be seen as someone who is fearless and unstoppable, because you are someone who listens to the guidance of the universe or source. And that's going to be a huge part of your reputation, pile number 3. Those are the messages I have for you today, but I'm not done. You guys could also end up writing a book that will be very successful. You could be sharing secrets about the esoteric, about energy, spirit, philosophies, misunderstandings that are leading people in a very lost direction. It's like you've chosen to recorrect something, and I can't put my finger on it. Yeah, this is a card of mystery. So it's like, yeah, you're revealing truths behind mysteries. You could be seen as a truth seeker or someone who holds a lot of knowledge about what has been hidden, and people see you as a visionary because of that. It's also like you could predict truths that are going to be uncovered and shared collectively. So I think you have a reputation of being able to connect to things like the Akashic records, to fate, to destiny, to the law of cause and effect as well. You have a very strong intuition about you. A lot of you guys could astral travel a lot as well, and you're seen as someone who is very hardworking and industrious. You could be seen as someone who touches on very controversial subjects as well, and that's going to be a big part of your legacy, creating new perspectives around controversial topics that can be seen as uncomfortable. You're going to be addressing a lot of uncomfortable things for people, but it's like helping them. You lead them down tunnels as well. Like, it's like leading the lost. You're going to be seen as someone who has helped to lead the lost in life. Those are the messages I have for you today, pile number 3. Thank you so very much for stopping by, and with all that being said, until next time, bye. Hello, pile number 4, and welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. We are going to be taking a look into your legacy. So I just saw that deep breathing was important. It helps you guys to do plenty of things. You guys are connected to the wisdom of air, the air element, very strongly connected. So that's crazy to me. Sorry. You guys are seen as really powerful individuals, just so you know, pile number 4. You're seen as people who have very highly evolved intellect. It's like you guys are very good at balancing all the chakras. So I'd say that you have a very strong understanding of the way humans work. It's like, is it autonomy? Autonomy? Autonomy. The human makeup. I don't know. Perhaps you have an enlightened understanding of like the human body, emotions, the psychological effects of things like trauma, things like fear. You're seen as someone who is described as like a light worker, a light warrior. For some of you, even like earth angels, sages. And if you don't identify with these labels yet and what the labels mean, that's the important point, not the label itself, but what they mean. You are going to have proof of these things in the future to come over your lifetime, yes. But let's go ahead. I'm going to set the intentions and align with you guys anyway, so that we can welcome in other energies that aren't as strong as what is coming through straight away. But anyway, we're going to take a look into your past reputation and legacy, which will lead us into the present as well. And then we'll take a look into future. You're very good at listening to yourself. You're your own advisor, your own healer is what I just heard. You're very self-assured. Your monologue is very important, is what I just heard. You think of things that are unthought of. You're innovative. And I think you help to calm people down. I'm seeing like written commandments. That could be metaphoric. You guys could follow the teachings of Jesus or of like I heard Dalai Lama. Is it Dalai Lama? Guru. Divine presence. You guys could have masters working with you in energy, and that's part of your reputation, pile number 4. Your presence is very healing, even to the heavens and hidden realms. There's a lot about yourself that you wouldn't believe even if I told you. Quite literally, because you'll think, right? You guys are so humble. You guys are gonna think that I'm hyping you up for like the clout or like the likes and stuff like that, but it's really not quite like that at all. You guys are very humble and very modest, and I think you need to take time out to listen to the compliments that you honestly truly get, because I genuinely mean it when I say you don't believe the positive things, or at least you don't see yourself in positive ways. 2 moments. I dropped a cup, but I'm going to have a look. Okay, so the one that came out here to represent your past reputation and past legacy is represented by the word no. So your past reputation and legacy is that you haven't been living in the truth of your potential and your journey and yourself. You guys could have gone through a lot of struggles. I would say that your past reputation and even leading until now is that you guys are shadow walkers, shadow guides. You guys have been through some of the hardest times of life. And through very unimaginable things to a lot of different people around you. You don't actually see the true gravity of what you've achieved, pile number 4. And I heard you saying no thank you to a lot of things. So I think you've had to become very disciplined in your ways of being and your ways of moving through adversity, challenge. Pile number 4, I would also say like moving through chaos. I think you are people who have really gone down very long journeys of like areas of life that are like suffering. Like areas of life where we can suffer. You've had a lot of experience in, and if it's not through your own experiences, it's through the experience of others that you'll vicariously live through by aligning to, providing support for, having the people that you've entertained in your space. You've got a very broad way of looking at life because of how much you've already experienced and what you allow yourself to stay aware of in your space. You're seen as multidimensional, multifunctional. I can't tell which one. Maybe both. Echoes. Echoes. I think you are people who can see life situations from many different perspectives. And I think you find yourself giving the same form of advice to many different perspectives and finding the use of them. So, for example, perhaps you guys have created your own proverbs through life experience, and you've used these proverbs and passed them on to other people for healing tools and modalities. It's like you provide support for people without even being present somehow, quite literally. It's like people summons your energy. They always think in terms of like, okay, so if the viewer was here going through the situation or challenge that I'm going through, how would they deal with it? What would they do? What would they say to me? How would they encourage me? And it's like, that's what you do. That's what you do, is what I just heard. You're very cute, by the way, pile number 4, whether you know this or not. Anyway, I think you will find that a big part of your past reputation is that you put yourself on hold. You slept on yourself. You slept on your potential. You could have even given up a life that you were almost given or provided for and gone down a complete different life direction, and then once again changed your life direction all over again into a different pathway altogether. It's like you've averted different branches of the same tree and always came back to the root seed of where you were first placed. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's almost like through everything you've gone through, you've found that the journey has always led you back to the home of yourself. And that's a big part of your reputation now. You have become such a strong, independent individual. You're very incomparable, pile number 4, and I feel as though you guys are achieving a pathway that is completely rare and unique to you. So you're a creator. You're a creator. You really are. But it's like you're creating a better way of doing things. It's almost like you're designing a possible timeline as well, because you're proving possibilities to yourself and in turn also proving possibilities to everyone else. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. You're doing things that are crazy to people. Like, they're like, how? They're always asking themselves, how? Like, how did you do that? How did you do that? Especially the haters in the background, by the way. Not that they matter all that much. You're inspiring them still because they're still paying attention to you, but they're always like, how did you get out of that? How did you do better? How did you achieve what you have? You know, yeah. How do you always know better? How are you always 10 steps ahead is another thing that I just heard. They just don't get it. And this is because you move authentically. You act authentically. You learn as you go. It's like you're a student to yourself and to life and the natural forces and sources of life. And because of that, you're always learning deeper mysteries and hidden secrets of life and always bringing them forward. It's like you're channeling them somehow. And if it's not like that, it's like you always have a curiosity for things that are either like taboo, uncommon, unheard of. You're always asking questions. You're always curious to deeper truths in life. And it's I hear some people being like, are you serious? Like, some of the things you speak of and some of the things that you bring other people's attention to is like shocking, because they're like, why did you even think of that? How did you even think of that? How did you even come up with that? Or how did you learn of that? If you pass on a lot of advice, experience, or wisdom to other people outside of you as well. I would say that I just saw a windy, it's like a windy pathway, but there was a bridge, and the windy pathway went under the bridge. So what I'm getting from that is, when people are going through life challenges, you are seen as like, I don't know the word, but it would be like, I see people coming up to you and being like, am I doing this right? And most of the time you're like, doing what right? And I think what you look for is people doing themselves, being themselves. And if it's not now, this is going to be something that comes up in the near future. I would say over the next 12 months. I feel as though you guys are prioritizing holding a space for people to be themselves. But a lot of where people are going wrong is that they're not trying to be themselves. They're trying to be like you, pile number 4. They're trying to be like you. And that's where I feel like these people could be going wrong for themselves, because they're not living in authentic alignment with their morals, their values. They're not recreating their life in a true, authentic reflection of who they know themselves to be. And I think you are going to be a figure that reminds them to do that. And this is why people will come to you and kind of seek your permission for them to be themselves, because it's like you bestow a confidence on people. And I think I said this from a previous past, so you could have followed through from there, or you could have felt drawn to another pile. But if not, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, what is pile number 4's current reputation for those guys? We have the Pleiades card, which is a double mission card. We have the Leap card, and then we also have the Pillar of Light. 2 seconds. Sorry about that, pile number 4, but I picked up the cards here. So we have Pleiades, we have Leap, and then we also have the Pillar of Light. I just went and dropped another card. Okay. So what this is telling me is that you guys will be focusing your energy in a couple of different places, and this is going to be something that you're known for. You are going to find yourself investing your energy in different areas of life. So you're building separate legacies for yourself in different areas of life for different people to know you for. Does that make sense? So for some of you, this could also represent right now you guys holding a legacy that is split. People who know you personally, you've left a different imprint on than what you have to how people know you socially. It's like only few people get to know who you really, really are. A lot of people get to experience the persona of you. But I see here a big part of your legacy and reputation right now is that you've done a lot of work to raise your vibrations. You've done a lot of work on yourself. You've done a lot of self-transformation. You've probably currently experienced a totally opposite side of life. And I feel like there has been a lot of flip-flops between opposites of life. It's like you've experienced many different extremes, a lot of descents and a lot of ascensions. So you've obtained a lot of different wisdoms for different pointers of life experiences as well, which provides you with the ability to kind of stand as a karmic guide for other people, a teacher. Yeah. I also see here that you guys have taken on a completely new direction in life. You're a complete different version of yourself, if anything, and that's a big part of your reputation. You reinvented yourself. Perhaps you had experienced the darker capabilities of who it is that you are, the darker possibilities, the darker expressions. And once you were well aware of them, you chose to discipline them, and you ascended through them, coming out of it a completely different human being. There's a lot of people in your space that are proud of you. And they said, don't let your hard work go to waste. And when I say that, I mean spirit that are surrounding you. Okay, let's take a look into your future reputation as described by the divine, your future self, the heavens and hidden realms. So I see a big part of your reputation is going to be based around using tools, things like herbs and oils, things like, is it holistic healing? You could have strong understandings of properties behind things. So some of you guys could be very well known for working with crystals, creating probably sacred tools as well. You could also incorporate crystals into things like jewelry. I have a friend who's making divination tools. And he incorporates crystals into those, and they're beautiful. You could also do like things like yoga practices, and I also see like healing, like body massages. You could be a healer by touch. That's going to be a big part of your legacy as well. I also see you guys being known for helping guide things like meditations. You could create binaural beats and encourage vibrational healing to others through the creation of these things. Because I'm seeing, like, you know how you have equalizers and the bars jump when certain sounds come through the speakers? That's what I'm seeing. So yeah, you guys could use vibration to heal others. You guys could also be known as someone who will encourage others to be themselves. I've said that already, haven't I? I think you're going to assert the importance of why people should be themselves exactly as they are, as they know themselves to be in the evolving present moment, because I think you're going to be teaching people where the true magic happens. Yeah, and you're going to lead people into the unknown aspects and realms of themselves. You're going to help people to see what sets them apart, which is in turn going to help them to stand out. So you could be seen as like a life coach or a life guide as well. And once again, there's no one really comparable to you, pile number 4. You're very individualistic. You're very unique. I think you probably have experienced a lot of put downs in the past as well. Like a lot of people projected this unacceptance of themselves onto you. It's like misdirected judgments because there is a rejection of self. Does that make sense? And I think this has really taught you to remain balanced within what you place importance on. I think you've come to realize, pile number 4, that at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. So why would you not prioritize your own happiness and your own perspective of self? You know what I'm saying? The relationship you share with you is your most important, because you go to sleep with you every night and you wake up with you every morning. And I think you have really learned the importance that other things externally don't really have to have relevance if you don't place importance on it. And I think you've reclaimed a lot of your empowerment by transcending what you've given your power of importance away to, and you're replacing by doing soul retrieval or having done soul retrieval. It's like you're returning that to yourself, and you're placing your priority of importance back on you, which is re-empowering you and healing you. And as a result, you're standing as a symbol of re-empowerment, rebirth, stepping into the better, stepping into the known. Like, you're a living example of having done the whole process. And in time, I believe that you will come to be known as like someone who will ascend into mastery. So you've done a lot of work of balancing the physical world with nature. And I would also say the, it's like dimensional worlds. So the world of energy, really. And you could be seen as a dimension walker. Someone who can astral project into different realms of consciousness and understanding possibilities. I think you're very good at tapping into understanding how to create possibilities as well, because of your ability to move into the fourth dimension. But yeah, I just see you being a guide and a teacher towards empowerment of a lot of people around you, because you are a living example of something that a lot of people would deem as impossible. What will be the legacy that pile number 4 will have by the time of their passing? Interesting. Getting to know the new you. Yeah, that you reinvented yourself. Quite literally, the message is kind of just repeating pile number 4. So I guess we will leave it on that note, that a lot of what your legacy will be based around when you come to pass is that you have completely reinvented yourself and redesigned a whole new reality for yourself. You've become a symbol of possibility to other people. And I think you have helped a lot of people to see themselves for their own judgment and own criticisms, their own rejection of acceptances for self as well. You've been misjudged a lot, but at your core, you still stay true to your love. Even though you might not always give it so freely to absolutely everybody, I do see you as someone who is still very caring, very kind, very welcoming and very nurturing of people's potential as well. But you don't get your hopes up and you don't become dependent or attached to the potential that you see in others. Instead, you allow them to be themselves and to choose who they wish to be. Those are the messages I have for you today, pile number 4. Thank you so very much for stopping by. I hope this has come in positive service, and with all that being said, until next time, bye.